Welcome back, everyone. The Democratic Alliance councillors in Tshwane will resume their duties and responsibilities after the party regained control of the metro yesterday. The DA and the ANC in that region have been fighting over the running of the city, prompting the provincial government to put the metro under administration. While the DA challenged this decision in court, the city spent months without a mayor, council, or a permanent city manager. So to discuss this, we're joined by Randall Williams, the DA's Tshwane mayoral candidate. Good to have you. Thanks very much for being with us, Randall.
Good morning to you.
All right, so let's get your reaction to yesterday's ruling.
Well, the ruling is long overdue. It's just a pity that this decision of the Gauteng provincial government has taken a life of its own for the last 7 months. Due to the fact that every time we win a court case, a judgment is handed down in favor, then MEC Mahile simply appeals, which then suspends the judgment. So yesterday was the third judgment that was granted in our favor by the Supreme Court of Appeal.
What is the next step now? What do you expect that is going to happen?
Well, yesterday's judgment was a rejection of an appeal that was lodged by the Gauteng provincial government. That then means that a judgment of the full bench of the North Gauteng High Court that was granted in our favor back in April already, that judgment will now be implemented. So that means that councillors will go back to work.
Okay. I mean, you say, and you have been adamant about that the decision to put the city under administration was politically motivated. Why do you say this? Elaborate for us.
Well, what happened before, the reason why council could not function was because either the ANC or EFF did not turn up for council meetings, which meant we were not able to co-rate, or during council meetings, they would simply leave council meetings, again, resulting in us not co-rating. That meant council could not function. And then MEC Mahile then used this as an excuse, a result of ANC and EFF councillors leaving council and making council dysfunctional. MEC Mahile then used that as an excuse to place us under administration.
How has it affected the service delivery?
So basically, he never addressed the cause, he rather looked at the consequence.
Yeah. I think one of the big things, obviously, is the service delivery in the city and how all of these wranglings have affected the service delivery. Talk to us about that.
Well, the city is in crisis at the moment. A few weeks ago, a Moody's report came out. When we were placed under administration in March, the city had cash reserves of 4.8 billion rands. A Moody's reported by 30th of June, the administrators spent 2.8 billion of the cash reserves. Now we are 4 months later. That means we won't have any cash reserves left in the city of Tshwane. So the question is, how do we pay for the delivery of basic services? You need to cover your operating expenses. And with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, we're going to have a problem as far as revenue collection is concerned. And that is why the administrators have not been able to deliver basic services.
You know, if we look at your next step now, you say that you could, as early as Friday, go in, take over and start working again. Is that the plan, to have it done by this week, to take over, get in and be mayor, move on to starting to turn things around? Is that the plan of action from your side?
Well, actually, some of the office bearers, like the chief whip, the speaker, and all the chairpersons of portfolio committees, they went back to office yesterday already, because since 10 o'clock yesterday, we are councillors again. So what the speaker is now doing, she's scheduling a council meeting for Friday, where we will have on the agenda the election of the mayor. So it all depends then which party will have the majority vote in council to elect a mayor.
Yeah, and you are running for that position?
Yes, I'm running for that position. The other parties have not indicated whether they'll be putting up a candidate yet. But the morning of council, they are entitled to do so.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that you don't have a majority. The DA does not have a majority, and it's relying on these, partnerships that you have got with the EFF, with the ANC, to try and get forward. I mean, do you really think that this is going to go in your favour?
Well, actually, it doesn't quite work that way. The vote for a mayor is not 50 plus 1%. The vote for a mayor is the majority of councillors present. So the DA is the biggest party in council. So if there's no alliance no coalition between the EFF and ANC, the DA will definitely have, with our coalition partners, we will definitely have the majority vote. So it's not 50 plus 1%.
But I mean, since this is a coalition, as we know, these are the facts, what is your current position with the EFF?
Look, at the national level, we've engaged in talks, but there's nothing resulting out of it. So as it stands, in fact, we've never had a coalition agreement with the EFF. That never existed. What we had in the past was an informal arrangement to work together on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, the morning of a council meeting, when there's an important issue on the agenda, it's only then that the EFF would decide whether they would vote with us or not. And that was the basis of our existence. As far as our other coalition members are concerned, three coalition parties, we've had firm coalition relationships with them. But unfortunately, that coalition doesn't push us above the 50% point.
What about the ANC? I mean, perhaps you can give us an understanding as to what has been at the centre of your sort of arguments with the ANC. What is happening?
It's very difficult to say because depending on who you speak to in the ANC, first of all, it's very difficult in the past with what's happening in South Africa with all the corruption scandals, the Zondi Commission. It's very difficult beforehand for at the national level for the DA to enter into a coalition agreement with the ANC. That means whatever your partner does, it reflects on you. We're trying to see if we can come to some kind of arrangement at a regional level, which is distinct from what's happening at national level. So there are informal talks going on. We will see if we can live with an informal arrangement to act together in the interest of the residents of Tshwane, because ultimately we all have a common goal, and that is to serve the residents of Tshwane,
who unfortunately have not been served due to what has been going on at the political level. And this is the whole issue, is that at the end of the day, after all of the disagreements, it's the voter and it's the resident that is now struggling at this time. Moving on to the Constitutional Court, is that the next step? Do you anticipate that this is the next move that is going to happen? And what are your chances in the in the Constitutional Court?
Actually, what happened, the original main judgment that was delivered by the Gauteng, full bench of the Gauteng North High Court in April, that judgment was taken on appeal by the Gauteng provincial government, the ANC and EFF, to the Constitutional Court. So that case was heard on the 10th of September. And we're waiting for judgment to be handed down. It will probably be handed down round about end of November, December, because I'm working on a three-month framework, and that is norms and standards which Justice Mogoeng agreed to. So that will then finalize the issue of whether we were placed correctly under administration or not. What the judgment of yesterday accomplished was that while that appeal process is ongoing, that councillors can, in the meanwhile, return to work.
Many people are worried about the state of the DA, though. We know that the conference is coming up this weekend, and we are going to see the leadership and that being elected. But many are saying, the DA, where are you? What is happening within the ranks of the DA? And, at one stage, the DA, of course, coming in, winning some of these municipalities, obviously through the coalitions, but looking much more powerful. But at this point in time, I've even seen questions going as far as saying, the DA, is that still a thing? Talk to us about the future of the DA and your future at the DA.
Look, I think the future of the DA is very, very bright. In the past, you had a number of questions that were raised. Is the DA going left? Is it going right? And what the public wanted to see was certainty. Now we've already had a policy conference. Now that policy conference gave us certainty of direction. And in the ranks of the DA, like any other organization, you have disgruntled people. You have them everywhere. Now, a number of them have left the DA. Those who want to remain in the DA, who believe in the values and principles and policies of the DA, those are the people that this coming weekend will be standing to be elected into leadership positions. So we know where we're going, and we have leaders that are willing to lead us, who know what the mission and the vision of the DA is.
And what is that? Because many are feeling that the DA has left the idea of trying to be a party for all and are now trying to just attract that white minority vote. Does that not worry you? Because there's been so much talk about it, and especially from those leaders that we've seen resigning, and there have been very high-profile resignations in the DA.
Look, our vision is based on 3 principles. And the principles are not designed that it addresses the issues of a certain ethnic group. The 4 principles that our vision is based on, it's on freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity. And as far as our mission is concerned, our mission is to create one South Africa for all by providing opportunity for everybody. We don't look at what color you are, but we do recognize that there are people in our community that needs a helping hand, and it's all addressed in our policies.
Well, it's going to be an interesting weekend. It certainly is. What do you foresee happening this weekend?
Well, it will be a Congress consisting of more than 2,000 delegates. And it's a hybrid Congress, online Congress, mostly online. And I can tell you that I believe we will have a successful 2-day conference in electing our new leaders.
And who do you think that new leader will be?
I don't know. Remember, I'm from the city of Tshwane, from a small region. The delegates come from all over South Africa. So I have no idea what's happening in the other regions. I don't speak to other caucuses. We've got too many issues here in the city of Tshwane to address.
You certainly do have a lot of issues that, as you say, people have already gotten back to work and they're needing to turn things around. But I just want to, as a final closing note, just again talk to the fact that, whether or not you actually will come in as a position of mayor, because the votes are very, very important, and there is no outright majority, and partnerships with the EFF and ANC are a big deal. If they form a coalition and if they come forward, we could very much so see them having a mayor there. This must worry you. What are your chances at this point in time that this is going to go in your favor? Because when you look at the facts, it doesn't look too good.
Look, for me, it's not a question of the office. It's a question of the responsibility. Whether we exercising the responsibility of governance or whether we exercise the responsibility of being in opposition, we will strive to do it well. So I'm not particularly worried about who's going to be mayor. Yes, I'm a candidate. Yes, I will stand to be mayor. Yes, I will accept the responsibility. But if it does not happen, I will be glad to serve in opposition because I can still deliver service to the residents of the city of Tshwane.
All right, we leave it there. Thanks so much for talking to us. Good to have you on the program, Randall Williams. He is the Democratic Alliance's Tshwane mayoral candidate, talking to us about their court victory yesterday, giving them power to run the city again, and also dipping in a little bit into that elective conference for the DA that's taking place this weekend.